Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Julie Lee and we're here to do the energy reading for this week. So I'm going to use the tarot cards and we'll just see what the guiding message is for the week ahead. Cards, so let's see this message for the week ahead. Message for the week ahead. Oops. Okay. Right. Okay. So perhaps we've got a bit of flying energy coming out this week. So I'll just, oops, sorry about that. Move this. I don't read the cards in reverse, so some people do like to do that. I just like to read it in the upright position. So hopefully you can see that, and let's just see what's at the bottom of the card. And so at the bottom of the deck, which I take as the theme, so justice, for me it always reminds me, it can be about legal matters and things like that, but for me it's about balance, things coming into balance. So it feels like the week ahead is about just being aware of that, just being aware of where there are imbalances in your life, whether they're imbalances in terms of your thoughts and beliefs about yourself, or maybe it's working too much, maybe it's putting too much energy onto, giving too much energy to others rather than yourself, or things like that. So it's just, your own situation. So just think, where are there imbalances in your life and what can you possibly do to bring things back into balance. So I'll just leave it there and then take a few moments to just kind of bring this all together. Okay. So I've got the Strength card, which is pretty obvious. It's all about being, having the strength to overcome adversities in life. And I think this year in particular, like last year was challenging, but this year in particular has been a really big growth period for, I would say, almost everyone. And so yes, it's really just knowing that you have the strength, or we all have the strength to overcome these things, to have the strength to face up to things that have happened in the past, perhaps, that are difficult to really acknowledge and accept sometimes, and it can be very painful as well. But just knowing that we all have the strength to deal with whatever comes our way, and we generally don't get given what we can't handle. So yeah, that's just and there's something about taming for some reason today, like the general idea is about strength, but for me, when I'm looking at today, I feel like there's something about taming, that the lion is being tamed, and perhaps that's an aspect of ourselves as well, taming that aspect of ourselves which either feels fearful, feels anxious, is angry, or whatever it might be. It's just, we know there's an aspect of us that may be at the forefront of our lives, and it's just being able to look at that and not to ignore it, but to really look at it, to give it space, and then to tame it, which is to allow it to be. Then how can you maybe perhaps turn it into a strength, because none of our emotions or things like that are really, or I don't believe they're positive or negative. I think they just are. But as a society, we've kind of put names on things and put judgments on things, and it makes us feel that we need to feel a certain way, or certain things are good versus other things which are bad. And really, when we can come to a place of just accepting things as they are without putting those judgments, then life flows a lot better, because we're not trying to make things what they're not. We're just saying, okay, that's the situation and we can accept it. And then once we get to that place, then our direction becomes clear about how we move forward. Well, there's a lot coming out of the Strength card. And then the Ace of Swords is about, well, the swords represent thoughts, ideas, etc. So it's about new thoughts, new beginnings in this area of our life. So perhaps, it's about speaking up and speaking your truth. Maybe that's something that you found difficult in the past, and, that's something that you want to become stronger in. And so it's setting that intention to say, well, this week I'm going to speak my truth. And even if it feels difficult, even if I feel that people won't accept it, it's not really about them. It's about you taking those steps to be the person that you are and to be the person that you want to be. It's not about meeting other people's expectations anymore. We're moving out of that phase, that way of life, because it just doesn't serve us. It's about coming into our truth and being who we really are, our authentic, unique, and amazing selves, really. And then we've got the Eight of Swords, so it looks like a scary card, but it's not really. It's basically, again, about our thoughts, and you can see that this lady, she can't see where she's going, or she looks like she's kind of stuck, but actually, if you look at the material that, binds her, they're not very tight, so actually, all she would really need to do is to loosen those binds and then, take it off her eyes, and then she could move out of that space. So this is about how we keep ourselves tied to situations or experiences that don't serve us, because, we're not willing to, open our eyes and see that actually those are old belief patterns, old thoughts, and they're not real anymore, because generally they would have come from the past. You would have had an experience. Most of our learning comes from childhood, and we just react from those places as adults. So we all have little children running our lives, and so it's to become aware of that, of where those old thought patterns exist, and then turning them into, or acknowledging and letting them go, so that you can step into your adult self, who can think and feel from a more powerful space. Because as children, it's obviously harder, because we don't know how to handle ourselves and things like that, but as adults we do. So the message feels clear to me. This week, just looking at these three cards, it's about having the strength to really step into our true selves, to speak our truth, to be our authentic self, and to let go of those old thoughts, beliefs, patterns that no longer serve us. It's time to really step into our power, and that's something that I spoke about last week. So if you haven't watched that reading, then take a look at it, and it'll help you, because it's all about new beginnings and stepping into our power. And I feel like that's a really strong message for this year. And it can be challenging, because we've been told that we aren't really powerful. If you think about how society works, is, rely on other things outside of yourself in order to feel good, in order to feel whole. We haven't really been taught that wholeness, that feeling of fulfillment and all those things that we seek are actually already within us. We just need to access it, acknowledge it and access it. And that we are actually very powerful beings, despite what the outside world might be telling us and the fear that's being perpetuated at the moment in whatever form. It's about moving beyond that. It's not to ignore that you have fears, to ignore that you might feel anxious. It's part of where we are now, is about acknowledging all those things, those shadow aspects of ourselves that we may have been uncomfortable in the past with, because when we do, then we really have nothing to be afraid of. We are whole, we are made up of different aspects, and that's okay. And the more that we allow ourselves to heal those old parts of us which feel hurt or don't feel powerful, then the more that we step into our power every day. So just in summary, just if you can focus this week on areas which feel out of balance for you, and it relates to this whole thing of where are you not being authentic, where are you not speaking your truth, and knowing that you are strong, and that what is holding you back from living the life that you really want is really just old thoughts, old beliefs, old ways of doing things that no longer serve you. And you have the power, you really have the power to change all of that. We all do, and the sooner and the more that we recognize this, then we'll start to see a big shift in the world. But we have to start with ourselves. So I hope that reading resonated with you and made sense. And I'd love to hear from you. If you have any comments or feedback, then please do send them to me. In the description box you can find out more about what I do, and also my email address. And then if you like the video, also feel free to like and subscribe so that you can get the notifications when the next ones are out. So yes, it's been lovely to connect with you, and I'll see you at the next reading. Okay, see you, bye.